Yeah, bank set. Young Rising, you know. I don't know what the fuck to say, but
Yo, it's your boy, Kid Savage, back at it again with another Streetbeefs Commentary. This one we got is a special one. It's featuring none other than your boy, Kid Savage. Like I say, man, I've been trying to do these videos, and my last two fight videos, I'm able to kind of like do them with no issue. But my first one, they had like a little bit of a cut, and I'm gonna have to try to figure out a way how to get that in there without it looking awkward or whatever the case. So I'll be doing that one soon. But right now we got myself going against Anomaly. This was my last fight. This was for the Tampa event. Also, this is from the Tampa event when I went, I think last year, probably like late last year, if I'm not mistaken. Either late or early last year, because I remember it was kind of like cold or whatever up there. So it probably was like early last year or something like that. But yeah, they had an event around that time or whatever the case, and I was matched up with Anomaly. I felt pretty good, pretty decent coming into the fight. I didn't do what I did my last time when I was at the Tampa event, when I kind of like ran for like 30 minutes before the fight, and then ended up getting out there and kind of like gassed out real fast or whatever. In this fight, I was really conscious of the fact that, you know, I could probably gas out if I don't, you know, pace myself and control my stamina or whatever the case. So I was very wary of that in this fight. My opponent, he came out as a wrestler, and like I think this was like my second wrestler in Street Beef so far. So I was already kind of like I didn't know it at the time, because when you get there you don't know who you're fighting. But once I found out who I was fighting, I was kind of like sizing him up, and I didn't really know what his base was, but I had a sneaky inkling suspicion that it might have been wrestling. But I didn't know until it got time for us to fight, and you know, when I seen him in his apparel or whatever, I was like, okay, yeah, he's a wrestler. And that kind of like put me on the fence to be like, okay, I gotta make sure that I don't do this or do that or get too aggressive here or throw this kind of strike, because, you know, wrestlers, they capitalize off of certain stuff that you do, kicks especially. But yeah, I came into this fight pretty much. I had the wherewithal to, like, you know, pace myself and not really go berserk or go too crazy or whatever the case, and then take whatever opportunities that would have presented itself during the fight or whatever the case. So, you know, it's enough of me talking about it. Without further ado, let's see what it do.
Right now, the Fort Lauderdale, Florida, by way of UFC Gym Lauderdale, and I'm just here just to, you know, get back that win that I suffered.
I no longer fight out of the UFC Gym Lauderdale. The one that they had, that I was going to, they done closed, so now I'm kind of like gymless.
See how far I can go. Let's hope my training got me where I need to be. Street Beefs, you already know what it is. I'm here with
at the time I didn't know that my opponent had like some years in wrestling, so I kind of was like fighting against the unknown and just trying to go based off of what it is I see in the moment or whatever the case.
Make sure you guys go check out Bet Online, best
like I said, I didn't want to be too aggressive or be too cautious or whatever, so I was just trying to keep it in the middle to where I knew exactly what I could and what I couldn't do.
Over here we have our boy Anomaly, and on this side we have our boy Kid Savage. Alright?
Yeah, man.
Alright, get on my ring, bro. You ready? Yeah. You ready? Let's work, fellas.
Touch of the gloves, come out in my orthodox. Anomaly came out, I think southpaw. Instantly he go for a leg kick and shoot for a takedown. I got a bad habit of not defending my takedowns, because in my head, like, I'm not too worried about going to the ground because I'm comfortable off my back. But here he is trying to work pummel in on the inside so that way he can get into a better position to rain down strikes. He was throwing some haymakers, and like maybe like one hit me to the body, but the most of them he wasn't really landing to the face or nothing. I was able to move out the way as he was throwing. He throws another kick to the leg, and I was able to kind of lift my leg up to deplete some of the damage. He was throwing a lot of strikes, man, and some of them hit me, but I felt I did a nice job kind of defending myself. My only issue was that I wasn't keeping my balance, man. I was all over the place. I was able to catch him off guard with the step in straight, made it seem like I was throwing a teep, but then came in with the straight, and he awkwardly punched me to the leg, and I exchanged it back with a proper leg kick. It's a lot of touching going on, trying to figure out the distance where I could come in without getting hurt. Throwing my leg up because I see that he liked to throw the kick, and tried to do the same thing, but then after the straight punch come off with the kick, but the kick wasn't as powerful enough like I wanted, so threw a nice little leg kick to him, and he threw one back. I was able to lift my leg up and return with 2 double jabs. I'm pressing the action a little bit more, trying to see where I can cut him off at, and when I was able to like open up to a body shot, to the kick to the body. Very uneventful. Threw another teep out there. Really, I'm just doing all that to keep him at bay. I noticed he was starting to get tired a little bit, and I started to press somewhat of a little bit. But yeah, started the second round. Much of the same. Nice leg kick, and he came and returned one back. I be trying to make sure I'm aware of my ring, so that way I know how much space I got to work with. Threw another little teep. I think those teep was for the most part keeping him at bay. He was able to tag me right there. I kind of faked to go for a shot just to get in close so I could ring in knees and stuff. He was able to hit me with a nice shot in the clinch, but I wore it real nice and was able to hang on to be able to get off my own strike. I was able to hit him to the knee, to the body and the head with those clinched uppercuts, and I felt like that probably might have took some out of him. That right there, I don't know what the hell happened, man. Like, I still hate that to this day, man. I threw a kick, and somehow my leg probably gave out, my knee gave out, and I ended up on my back. I didn't know it at the time, but just then he just said, can't kick in the face if you're the top guy. But when I kicked, he said you can't kick in the face, and that was for some reason the only thing I heard, so I stopped trying to kick him in the face. Because to my knowledge, on the ground, if you on your back and they standing up, you can kick them in the face. But they can't kick you in the face if you on your back. But like I said, I heard when he said that, it sounded like he was telling me that I couldn't kick him in the face even though I'm on the ground. So I'm kind of like, how the hell? So I stopped, and he was able to like gain side control because of that. Right here, I'm just trying to lock him down to the point where he can't really do too much. I really wanted to regain guard, but I wasn't able to, so I just chose the another option of holding down his arm and putting my knee in between us so that way he can't really posture up correctly. And if he do, I'll be able to push off of him and stand back up. Nice sportsmanship. Myself sounding like an old ass man, but it's all good. Third round. Didn't really know who was winning. He coming out aggressive as always. He threw another leg kick, and when I knew he was going to throw another one, I threw up the check, and I was able to throw up a check right hook, a check lead hook. But then as I was coming in, he was able to catch me with a check of his own. So now it's getting a little bit more intense. He threw a nice teep. He threw another teep. I catch it, and he was able to wing off some strikes on me. You can tell he was starting to gas, but I wasn't really keen to that at the moment. I was having my own little stamina issues. I wasn't trying to, blast off full blast crazy or whatever, so I was trying to make sure I was still wary of that. I kept throwing a whole bunch of round kicks, but I should have been throwing a bunch of straights. And off of one of the kicks, a lazy kick that I threw, he was able to catch it, get in close, and me not being able to defend it the right way like how I should have, he was able to catch the takedown. At this point, me and him, we both was kind of tired. I would like to say him more so than me. Me, I was just too comfortable in the position and willing to I kind of gave it up. He was able to get the side control. You can hear my brother telling me to tighten up because I wasn't doing too much. There, I was trying to set up this choke called a buggy choke, and it's pretty much when you on bottom half guard and you pretty much throw your leg over his head and you pretty much clasp it with your arm and you hold it down with your other leg, and pretty much the choke supposed to cut off the blood flow on the neck. And I was supposed to have been able to get the finish from there, but like I said, when you're tired and you're not really putting forth all the effort that you can do, sometimes you're not able to get it. But what I was able to get, I was able to regain my guard and was able to gain back guard You can hear my corner trying to tell me to do something or whatever because his match is winding down, and he was able to get off all these strikes. And even though none of them wasn't hitting me, in the eyes of the judges, that's not a good look. So he was able to get back half guard after my failed attempt on an arm bar. I didn't kind of blast my hips up in a position where I was able to. Now those shots, he was getting off more. I would say he probably hit me more in this moment than he did through the whole fight when he had me on the ground.
Hey, good fight, fellas. I'm proud. This is my brother right here. We train together. I'm hoping to make him a legend one day. I'll stick with it. Thank you for having me. Hey, look, guys. If
he did a good job, man. He did what he was supposed to, and he was able to get the win.
The global online play to earn casino going to be freaking huge. Solve it in the yard and we leave. Agreed?
Yeah, he was able to get the win, man. He had more grit, I think, and he showed that he wanted it more. You know, I wasn't able to really capitalize off of any of the moments. Like I said in the beginning, I think what it really boils down to was the fact that I was timid. Not timid. I was trying to be too patient with my shots. I wasn't trying to get crazy and allow him to have a chance to actually wing off something that could put me down or whatnot. Even though in the third round he did end up hitting me with something that kind of like staggered me a bit, but I was still able to keep composure and keep with it or whatever the case. But defensive wise, man, I think this is probably like my best showing of that. I think my second fight, is like my best showing of my offensive aggressiveness or whatever the case may be. And now I'm in this limbo state where I need to find a mesh between the two and kind of like balance them out, so that way I'm being just as aggressive and just as defensive, appropriately defensive. I don't know how to phrase it. I'm tired tongue right now. Sorry about that. But I'm pretty much want the same amount of equality when it comes to the offense and the defense. And I felt like in this fight, I displayed much more of my defensive side. Like I said, on the stand-up, he wasn't really hitting me much, although some of his shots was kind of like causing me to like lean all over the place. And that's something that I gotta rectify. Like I gotta keep a firm base and make sure that I'm solid, so that way when I'm taking shots, whether I'm getting hit or I'm blocking, mainly blocking, I'm not falling all over the place and being took with the shot, because that also looks bad in the eyes of the judges too, I think. When you're not getting hit, but at the same time, the shots that you're getting hit, that you're blocking, you blocking them, but it's like you kind of getting carried with their shot or whatever the case, and it kind of look like, you know, they starting to like break through, and I guess in the eyes of the judges make it seem like as if like that those shots are really having some kind of effect on you or whatever the case. So I gotta kind of hunker down my base and make sure that I'm solid when it comes to blocking, and keep up with my footwork, because I noticed that in that fight I didn't allow myself to get backed up into a corner like I did my second fight, and maybe my first fight as well too. I was a little bit more active when it came to footwork. I was like I said, he was a wrestler, so I was throwing kicks here and there, but at the same time my kicks was kind of labored. My kicks didn't have that stopping power to where like I'm able to like, you know, push you back or at least damage you to some degree. I had some that was enough, but because I was fighting and wrestling and I was wary of that, I wasn't trying to throw too many and with too much power, because I didn't want the result to be that, you know, me ending up on my back. Which, like I said, I don't have a problem ending up on my back. It's just that sometimes I would rather keep it standing and show off a little bit of my striking or whatever the case. But Anomaly hung tough, man. If anything, I give my opponent, man, like he was able to like hang tough and like grit out a win or whatever the case may be. Like he may not have done as much damage as he probably would have liked to, but he was able to keep coming forward, keep pushing forward and pushing the pace, and pretty much he kind of like brung the action to me. There was times where I would kind of like sit there and like trying to wait on him and see what he gonna do, so that way I could pop off something like a counter shot or whatever the case, and he was able to kind of like keep up the pace, keep up the fluidity of the strikes or whatnot. And he kind of like switched it up every now and then real decent too. He was throwing like punches, and he would throw like a leg kick, a teep every now and then. Granted, like, you know, if we had to compare his teeps to my teeps, I would like to say I have the better teeps. But because he was throwing them at different intervals and he wasn't throwing them too much, a lot of those teeps, a lot of those kicks that he threw, they landed or whatever the case. And that's just something else that I got to work on or whatever. Got to work on my distance management, got to work on getting inside and getting out, and just keep working on the basics like I usually do. And as for him, I would say, you know, he got to work on his punching stamina, work on some combinations, work on throwing different strike variations and pacing and like throwing and throwing off the rhythm every now and then again, and shit, he'll be able to mix it up nicely with his wrestling or whatever the case may be. But I don't think there's anything else I need to go over that I've already went over. Like I said, this fight here, I felt a bit good about myself. I felt really good about myself in this fight, honestly. I wasn't worried. I didn't get like a little warm-up beforehand like I should have, but that's probably might be the reason why, as to why I was so kind of like not as active as I should be, or as aware, or I was aware, but I wasn't as offensively aware as I should be, because a lot of those shots, had I, you know, picked the shots a little bit better, I felt I would have been more successful. So I got to work on that. Make sure that when I get ready to fight, just do a little warm up. You know, it don't necessarily have to be no crazy full-blown workout or anything. Just warm up enough to where your limbs are loose and to where you can be able to throw off different kind of strikes if need be when the time arrives or whatever the case. But yeah, man, I'm coming back. I'm definitely coming back, man. Try to get me a win, man, because I'm on a 2-fight losing streak at the moment, and yeah, it's not a good feeling. So yeah, man, congrats to Anomaly, and yeah, you guys will see me back there again. But other than that, this has been another good one. This has been your boy Kid Savage, back at it again with another Streetbeefs Commentary. Peace.
Make sure y'all like, share, and comment, and hit that bell also for more Streetbeefs Commentary.
Don't try to fuck with us. This is how we do it, cause the stage is